There you go.
Okay.
Hi everybody, welcome back. We are here in Red Cup Conversations in beautiful Bixby Knolls area of Long Beach at the historic
John Lee Hooker's
and
home.
home. Yeah,
Home, house.
and we say this all the time. John Lee Hooker.
Well, it depends on what I'm drinking. Is it home, John Lee Hooker's house or home?
It's the house of John Lee Hooker.
Okay, that's right.
It's home.
Let's do it.
Okay. My name is John. He calls me Hula. His name is Aaron. I call him Black. Tell us why.
Because I'm a black man.
No, I'm just playing. No.
My last name is Blackburn. And so everybody...
Bixby Pop's coming up.
Yeah. Was that Southwest?
Probably, since that's all we have.
We'll talk to Wade Cheney.
All right, tell us about our nickname, why we got him, and why you taunt me with this every day.
I taught Hula's name because there was a cartoon back in the, I think it was the 80s? It was the 80s.
I think it was the 70s.
It was the 70s? It was called Plastic Man. And his sidekick was Hula Hula. And Hula Hula knew everybody, and they flew on a plane. So Hula Hula knew everybody, wherever they land, Hula Hula had a friend or knew somebody there. So every time we go out, I don't care where we go, John knows someone.
Alaska.
With Alaska, it's other places. I mean, out of the country here, see someone he knows.
Mexico.
And if you look up Hula Hula, Google, it's a cartoon. The guy wears a Hawaiian shirt. He wears a kind of similar.
You know, you're kind of playing on me being portly,
No.
or having my man body. But
no, it's the man body. It's the man body. So I gave him the street name Hula Hula. So we call him Hula for short. And Black, like I said, Blackburn's my last name, and everybody calls me Black. So I'm Black and Hula. So if you hear this further down the road on this channel,
Yeah.
you know who we are, Black and Hula.
Yeah. My wife even calls me that now.
Yeah.
We've been together for over 20 years, so.
I gave him the name. I was 2 years doing COVID, right?
Right.
Now everybody calls me Hula.
Yeah, everybody.
Really?
It's Hula.
Yeah. So today we have Michelle Dobson, our esteemed guest, and Michelle's going to talk to us about some litigation, some ADA stuff that's going on that she's been very, involved in. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Your name of your firm and everything.
Name of your firm.
I want everybody to know
Where are
who
you
are.
from?
It's self-titled. My office is of Michelle Dobson, and I'm a native of Long Beach. I grew up on the west side of Long Beach, which everybody thinks is Carson, but it's not. When you get over the LA River, which we call the flood control, that's still Long Beach. So I grew up in that little pocket over there. And product of Long Beach Unified Schools, Long Beach Power, they go Jackrabbits, Long Beach State, go Beach. So,
Wow. You got
all the way through,
Wow.
native all the way through. My dad was an assistant pastor of a church over on the west side, St. Luke, and that's what I grew up in that. And now I settled here, raising my family here, and planted my firm here in Long Beach. And about 5 years ago, moved my firm up to Bixby Knolls because of everything that was going on.
Oh, you're in Bixby
area.
now?
I moved to Bixby Knolls from Belmont Heights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we very quietly just came on up north, and we love it. We're up in the tower at 3711 Long Beach Boulevard,
Okay.
which is hilarious. We say we're in the biggest building, the tallest building in Bixby Knolls, which is not even that tall. But it's nice to say that we're in the tallest building.
Is that the one across from the coffee place?
It's across from Steelcraft.
Steelcraft, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's us, yeah. We have a beautiful mural on the side, and yeah, we were the first ones to move in, and I thought, man, I made a mistake coming to Bixby Knolls, but now it's bustling. Like the whole floor is filled. It's like an incubator. There's just like tons of little small businesses on the 2 floors, 4th and 5th floor where we are.
You have a
It's
rooftop
wonderful.
deck.
Well, yeah, that's a great place to, when you're stressed out, you've been yelling at somebody, it's the perfect place to go up the stairs and go walking around with the sun beat down on you or scream at God, it's the perfect place. Yeah, they did. Well, I think it's supposed to be parking, but a lot of us use it just to de-stress. We go up there and we just yell and scream and yeah, the smokers, interestingly, like a social order has come about in that building, so the smokers stay on the 3rd floor and they leave that top for us to walk around in.
Oh, that's considerate.
It is very considerate. It is very considerate. So like a little social order has started to happen in that space.
Well, don't smoke.
Yeah.
I don't. I've never been a smoker and don't
I smoke cigars.
Cigars, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway,
What we talking? We talking about
tell us about this
AD.
ADA stuff and what's going on. I know.
the first time we heard of it. We opened up a restaurant here.
Yeah.
Everybody knew we had Derek's on Atlantic, and we were terrified of this guy because rumors were floating around that he was going around suing restaurants if they weren't compliant, or it wasn't. I'm not sure the whole logistics of it, but I know the websites. He was trolling the websites, and he
Right.
was. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, he was actually. Now we ended up with the cases that they had in the Naples district. So they started in Naples and they targeted all of those restaurants.
Right.
So we had clients down there, so we got those. And then I happened to walk into the Bixby Business Association meeting, and I was going to ask for some privilege waivers so I could use. I heard that Belmont Shore had started getting hit, but when I went in there, I didn't realize the magnitude of it. This firm and this guy. In October of 2019, right before Thanksgiving, sued the whole street. So all of Belmont Shore just went all the way up and down the street and said that he was there. And this is what's so odd about it. He lives in San Diego, but actually said in the complaint and signed it that he drove to Long Beach and was trying to patronize all of these businesses up and down Belmont Shore. So when I walked into that business association meeting, I thought it'd be one or two businesses, and I was like, wait a minute, how many of you have been sued? All the hands went up. So that's when it got out of control. If it's one or two here, then you don't want to think that it's malicious, but when you go and you literally just walk down the street and serve every single business, you know this is targeting.
Yeah.
And they're not supposed to target geographic areas like that.
Did he have like a tape measure and measuring the sinks to make sure it was like
that's
not
the thing.
right length? You know, I know there's laws and stuff. We were very scared when we had a restaurant. We're like, okay, we're 0.3 of an inch off.
Yeah.
And am I going to get sued?
There's actually really, really great ADA compliance people who will come out for, and as businesses go, it's not that steep of a price, and they will actually assess your entire business and tell you what's going on and tell you how to fix it. And it's a good thing to do when you first open up. And all of my clients, the moment they hear that someone's in the area, they go and get it done. And they give you a report that tells you, but that wasn't what this guy was doing. In the pictures, you could actually see the shadow of the person taking the picture. The person was standing up. So they have spotters that go into a business, spot the violations, make sure they pay for their food, then they take the receipt back to the firm. And then they use that. How is the person in the picture standing up? They're supposed to be in a wheelchair. You're telling me that your guy rolled into this business and did this, but you can see the shadow of the person standing up. So it kind of, when we got the Belmont Shore cases, Belmont Shore said, we're going to fight back. So Belmont Shore banded together.
Good.
And it was good because they were all in federal court. So what we did was we filed motions to dismiss on all of them and used all of the complaints and showed the judges, these are boilerplate, identical complaints. They just copy and pasted and changed the names and copy and pasted this one paragraph saying what the violation is.
So it was more or less a shakedown. So
It was
they're
completely.
They're going to sue you and give the guy $4,000 or whatever.
Well, no, they've gone up.
Oh, really? Okay, because we
Yeah.
were afraid we'd have to pay $5,000.
Yeah, right. That was what, 2 years ago.
No, it used to be about 4,000 or 5,000 because there's two different laws you're dealing with. You're dealing with the federal statutes, and the federal statutes just say, go fix your place. Here's an injunction, go fix your place. And then it's discretionary if you get the attorney's fees. At the state level, you get $4,000 per violation. So on the state level, that's where it can get pricey because the state of California decided to have its own set of laws called the Unruh Act. And that's what really frightens people. But we used to be able to make the case go away for 4,000 or 5,000, and then it's more like a nuisance.
Yeah.
They got really greedy. They were settling for like 30,000 on the structured settlement, pay us over a year. I mean, it just got crazy. And that's when they started targeting when the price started going up. Yeah, and then they started targeting geographic areas. And by the time they got to Bixby Knolls, the federal judges had pulled all those cases together and they just dismissed them en masse.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Well, because a lot of the judges were just this is garbage. And one of the judges, they sued Tesla, and the judge actually said, we didn't handle that. The judge actually said in the ruling, you cannot use boilerplate complaints. There's no such thing as a tester plaintiff where you're testing the ADA laws of the state of California. There's no such thing. Either you went to the business and you couldn't access it, or you couldn't. So the judge was actually really, really clear. You need to specify what barrier you encountered, and an intent to return to the business. The part that always gets lost is you have to intend to return to that business. So we argued when we had all those cases, Naples and Beaumont Shore, we argued, what is the likelihood this guy from San Diego is going to come back up here, and what's the likelihood he's going to try to join a gym, buy shoes, get yogurt? I mean, it didn't make any sense. Why are you driving past all these cities coming to Long Beach to buy yogurt?
Right. And the receipt times were probably 20 minutes after.
Oh, yeah, it's like, well, that was another thing we pointed out. When they did give us a receipt, we're like, okay, this person had breakfast, and literally 15 minutes later had breakfast again. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, this had 10 meals in a day.
And he kept the receipts.
Well, that's to prove that I was really there. Yeah. But the business, until they targeted Beaumont Shore, the businesses didn't talk to each other, so nobody knew that the other was being sued. Right. So Beaumont Shore came together and said, no, we're all talking to each other and we're going to push back. And the reason why the case is, generally the conventional wisdom is, don't spend money on a lawyer, just go ahead and settle it. Yeah. But when the businesses come together and say, look, we're going to do group representation, we're going to push back together, then the judges got to see all the cases at once. And I mean, the motion was like that thick. So when that motion hit the judge's desk, all the judges came together. And it was interesting because our hearings were all staggered. And then all of a sudden I got notice that all the hearings were scheduled for 1 week. On top of each other. So the judges got together. They're like, what is this? The judges got together. Yeah. The judges got together. So yeah, they just got rid of them. But they still came down. They came up here to Bixby Knolls. They went down the street to Bixby Knolls. But they primarily left Long Beach.
Yeah. But it's probably not just Long Beach. It's probably San Diego.
I get calls from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I get calls from everywhere. Because what I'm getting calls about was if you can go into the system, federal system, and you can pull up this guy and you can see, and that's what we did. We pulled up all of his cases and we're like, Your Honor, what is the likelihood that he's encountered 750 barriers in the first quarter alone? Literally every place that he goes, he encounters a barrier. So we actually pulled the guy up, and then that's why the motion was so thick, because we not only put all the Beaumont Shore complaints, we put every single case that he had filed.
So when you do that, is this a class action? I mean, you said you were suing them, or just trying to get them to not do it? Or?
Well, all we were trying to do is, and I kept telling the firm that did it, all we kept saying is, we just want you out of Long Beach. Do what you're gonna do.
Hey, don't come to Long Beach.
I don't try to deny anybody a living, but just so you know, Naples banded together, Beaumont Shore banded together, and then Bixby Knolls was about to, and they left.
Yeah.
So I said, just know that our businesses talk to each other. And they now are aware. It's a family. It's the biggest little city.
It is.
And ever since when I grew up here, my dad would always say, he was like, I'm not worried about you guys. I know that you were over, on, 29th and Nova. I was like, how do you know? Because Miss So-and-so. I mean, that's the kind of town that Long Beach is. If I wasn't in school and I was over, at Polly Burgers when I wasn't supposed to be there, and Miss So-and-so drove by, she just kept right on going until she got to my house. I just saw Shell. She was over at Polly Burger, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning. She should not be there. So, it's the biggest small town, which is what's great about it.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids the same thing. I was like, you can do what you want to do. I'll hear about it. Because everybody knows you. Everybody knows that you're my kids.
Yeah.
So the end result, we got these guys out of Long Beach. They're still doing it.
No,
really?
Something major happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like People Magazine.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, you heard it here first.
It was stunning.
Is that camera? That camera was out there? Which one?
Red light.
The red light? You heard it here first.
It was
Black Bar.
stunning.
Conversations.
The DAs of San Francisco and LA got together, and what we didn't know and what that firm didn't know was that they've been investigating them for several years. So they filed a criminal case against the firm and named all the lawyers individually. I mean, I was both, delighted and heartbroken at the same time because they fought against these individual lawyers, and lawyer to lawyer, you never want to see that happen to someone's career, and a lot of the lawyers within the firm are quite young.
So they got taken in by the money.
Well, and they're suing, saying that it was fraudulent, that a lot of these cases were just garbage from the beginning, but most importantly, they want the money back.
Yeah.
They want the settlements back. So
Yeah.
you can imagine that's millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Oh my God.
Because the conventional wisdom when you get hit with an ADA case is settle it.
Yes.
That's the conventional wisdom is let's assess your books, see, let's put a cap on how much you can pay, and then I'll start calling the other side and let's settle it. And that's why what we call surf by lawsuits are so terrifying, because the surf bys are the website, checking your website.
Right.
And so you can do that from the comfort of your home, surf by the website and just check it, and you go to anybody's website, most websites are not compliant, and it's terrifying because you say get compliant, but there's no Department of Justice guidelines telling you how to get compliant.
Wow.
Like there's guidelines saying this is how to make a website accessible. They do have that, but like I said, it's kind of new territory because when the ADA, when it was put into place just to make things more accessible.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be used as a sword.
Right.
And definitely not as a source of income.
Right. Yeah.
But it was done in I think 1990. Well, the internet was in its infancy.
It's on AOL.
Yeah.
It
It was still dial-up. You said you can go make dinner.
You had to wait.
I'm gonna download something. I'm gonna go make dinner and come back from my download. It was that long ago. So it didn't contemplate where the internet would be today. So eventually, like all areas of the law, it'll get litigated enough. But right now, there's been kind of a cooling effect because everyone wants to know what's going to happen with this case, with these DAs suing one of the most prominent firms in filing these.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know if is Amazon ADA compliant. I don't even know how to find out if even use a tool if it was out there.
Yeah, you know what? And thinking about that, I don't think that the thing is though, this is what I always say when I'm negotiating the cases, your computer can make anything accessible. Your computer has an option on it, an accessibility option, where if you put the cursor over it, it'll talk to you, it'll read, it'll magnify. You have an accessibility option on your computer. So I was like, why don't they turn on the accessibility option on their computer and it will do everything that they need it to do, rather than everybody in the world trying to figure out what's going to make my website compliant.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, they already have the tools, and Microsoft or whoever's doing your operating system is going to provide that and update
It's
and
already
make it
there.
better. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay, we have some questions for you.
Yep.
This is totally off the our beaten path. Hula and I, we have a challenge.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
did have a challenge.
Well, it's movies. We into movies and stuff. So, Star Wars
Yes.
or Star Trek?
Oh my gosh, Star Trek all day long.
I got two.
And do you want to know the captains? Because if we're gonna talk about
so
Star
you
Trek,
going there now?
I can talk all day
we
long
gotta have
about
all the captains,
Star
right?
Trek. So
And even the different versions of Kirk.
Well, yeah, but you got to start with Cisco.
Cisco was good.
You got to start with Cisco. He's very intense.
Deep Space Nine, for those that don't know, very intense.
Yeah, I'll start with Cisco. Then we'll go to Picard.
Right. Cisco, Avery Brooks.
Yeah. So Cisco, then Picard, and then we'll go with Janeway.
Janeway was good. I liked Janeway.
I liked Janeway.
And I actually liked Captain Archer.
You
from
know what?
Enterprise because he was so angry all the time because nobody got Earthlings.
Yeah.
Anyway, so geek out.
There you go.
Geek out.
So that's you guys got a little. That's actually a hidden secret that I'm so into.
I know he was a Trekkie.
Oh my gosh! Like literally have gone to the convention, standing with Klingons, taking pictures.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
The whole thing.
I wanted
the whole thing.
I wanted thought.
Oh yeah.
Nobody goes to Star Wars conventions.
Man, shut up.
No, the whole thing. So yeah, Star Trek.
Love it. Next question: favorite '80s band?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm going to say Blondie.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
She's the first female white hip hop artist, rapper.
Yeah, she rapped for the
Hip
first
hop
time.
artist, not a rapper.
Hip hop. Is it hip hop?
You said it's hip hop. Nah, it might be
I don't know
rap.
about that. But okay.
No, it's probably rap. You probably
Okay.
rap.
Yeah, but the
I might
reason
get my
why-
carpool to talk
It's
about
gonna be a
it.
carpool. Put it right there in the cup.
Yeah. The reason why I liked her rhyme though was because she rapped, but she didn't rap trying to sound black.
Right.
And so that's
Wow.
that's why I appreciated the rap. So she heard that in the streets in New York. She mentioned Fab Five Freddy.
Yes.
she did.
Yeah, she did.
Michelle, you're pretty knowledgeable about some things. Damn.
But yeah, but she didn't try to sound like
Like Iggy
African
Azalea.
American. Yeah.
Yeah. That,
Yeah, I mean, it's like, excuse me, but number one, there is no way to sound black. Like every other culture, we have various sounds.
Right.
We speak in various dialects, so
As it were, if you will.
Yes.
so there's no way to to sound black. So Blondie, the reason why I like her rap is because Blondie rapped as Debbie Harry rapped as Debbie Harry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
got another question?
No, Michelle blew me away.
No, I know. That's it. Man.
I'm a little thrown back because this whole Trekkie thing.
I know. We're gonna have to hang out, go to
I
a
love
convention
you.
or
I
something.
love
like that. We'll take
still,
him.
I still love you.
Yeah, I mean, but seriously, Star Wars.
I do.
So
Only the Empire Strikes Back.
So,
Strikes Back is the only.
we'll get deep for 2 seconds here. Star Wars is fantasy.
Yeah.
It can be like Lord of the Rings.
Here we
Right.
go.
Star Trek is science fiction. It's the possibility that things can happen. So
And that
that's my
is.
definition. And so I've been arguing this for
How old are you?
like 32. 32. Yes, I'm 32.
Well, see, it's a possibility, or even more so, it could be a parallel. We
Yeah.
have no idea. There could be Cardassians and all of them existing right now. We just have to know.
Not the Kardashians, the Cardassians. So if you know
Yeah.
Star Trek, the
Go
Well, I
Kardashians.
was gonna say Kim exists now. So.
No.
did I
That's
say
just tragic, though.
Okay.
I mean, famous for being famous, that's just tragic.
Yeah.
Every time I see my daughter hold the phone and do a duck face, I just want to cry. I'm just like, oh, put your phone down. That's the beginning of the end of our society. Put the phone down. Yeah.
So it's the Cardassians that were taking with the Bajorans.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Bless you. Bless you.
All right. So,
Occupied him for 50 years, but
Yeah.
Gul Dukat is a great character.
Oh my God,
yeah.
Michelle.
Yeah.
We're gonna geek out, man. We'll
Yeah.
do a Star Trek one. We'll get Michelle. We'll get me.
We go dress up and have it at Black's Bar. We have a Trek day.
a Trek day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nanu.
Well, last question.
Yeah.
What's in the red cup?
Water.
Always.
It's always wild.
Always water.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We hope you find these videos entertaining,
And educational.
informative. Yeah, educational.
Education.
And let us know. The camera's right there. Let us know if you like it, dislike it,
Got my good side.
and we'll talk to you later. And
you for having
always be nice to people
And vote.
and vote.
Yes.
And thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.